Hey everyone, welcome to my September plan with me in my new Traveler's Journal sized notebook. September's theme is going to be frogs. I have this scrapbooking paper that I'm also going to feature in this theme as well because I love a torn edge. I'm really trying to get these corners to line up with the edges of my paper. Just much nicer to me when it happens like that. There's a lot less cutting that I have to do. I think I was trying to pull that up at one point to see if I could maybe reuse it in the other corner, but then I just decided to do this instead. And then I'm going to put down some washi tape for some accents. So I have 3 different green washi tapes that I'm going to be using, plus this brown washi tape that has a some text on it. It's kind of cute. As you can see, I kind of pulled up some stuff. And then I'm gonna do my frog. As you can probably see in the bottom left-hand corner, I have what I call my R&D journal out. It also has a bunch of swatches of my markers on it. The Ohuhu markers are not always true to the pen cap colors, so I always swatch all of my markers that I'm planning on using for a month, just to try to see what they actually truly look like on the paper instead of what I think they're going to look like based on the pen cap lids. I'm also going to try to add some details into my froggy guy here, just because the markers were a little bit like muted on top of each other. I lost some of the detail. And then I'm gonna get my trusty stamps, because I really could not find a font for this month. It was driving me a little crazy, so I just kind of defaulted to my my stamps because I like my stamps. They're very easy. They make life a lot easier. Plus, I can make them say whatever I want, which is always super helpful. The quote that I'm going with for September is change is inevitable, growth is optional, which I feel like we all need to be reminded of occasionally. Then once I put down optional, we're going to move on to my calendar spread for this month. Again, we're going to feature this scrapbooking paper on some corners. Again, my stamps and our washi tape. And a little frog, because of course we need a little frog. Figuring out the sizing for the calendar in the Traveler's Journal was a bit of a task for me this month. It's the first month I'm using the Traveler's Journal, so as you would suspect, it took me a minute to figure it out. But the grid spacing for anybody that's interested is 4 dot grid boxes wide by 5 dot grid boxes tall. Then we're going to move on to my tracker spreads. So my mood, my habits, and the weather. I like tracking the weather. It's always interesting to figure out how the weather might be impacting my mood. I haven't noticed any direct correlations to that, but we'll keep going. And then it seems that I lost some footage here, but I just went through with my brown Pigma Micron and made all these little lily pads. I'm also just going to be adding my weather tracker in the bottom corner here. This is the exact same process I did for all the little habit tracker calendars, but didn't miss it this time. And then I'm gonna add some of the scrapbooking paper on the corners. Try to squeeze in some decoration, even though these pages are tiny. Traveler size notebook problems. And then I'm gonna realize in a second here, after I finish numbering all these lily pads, that those two habit trackers at the top were not the correct ones, so I just covered it. And then we're gonna work on my miscellaneous tracker pages. Again, we're just gonna put down some of this scrapbooking paper and then some of the washi. Gotta make sure I get all of the colors of the washi I've been using in here because the theme must be theming. Then we're gonna go in with my stamps and put in my sections for my miscellaneous trackers. So my media is just everything I watch in a month. Stats are some personal stats, and of course notes are notes. Then we're going to work on my meal tracking pages. Again, scrapbooking paper, my stamps for the title, washi tape, and then putting in all my lines. I did some dotted lines for these. It might not be super easy to see on the video, but they are kind of dotty. It just gives it a little bit of a softer look, which I thought might be beneficial for this particular theme. I'm trying to count out my spaces because, again, this is a new book. I'm not super familiar with it. Then I realized that Sunday was in August, so I just put a big piece of scrapbooking paper over that space so that I didn't forget to not use it. Then we're gonna do my frog in the top corner here. This really bright green. And then I was like, I don't really like that pen, so I swapped it out for this one here. And then we're going to start on my first weekly for September. We're going to do a big frog in this corner here. And then we're going to do some lily pads for the dates because the theme needs to theme. And in a minute here, you're going to see me mess up the September header for this one. And because I don't have any paper for this, I just left it. On to our second weekly for September. I'm going to do all of my days of the week on the one side, and then we're going to do all of my to-do list on the other side. Again, this is my first time ever in a traveler-sized journal, so I'm still trying to figure out what's going to work for me because, you know, it's new, it's exciting, but I've never used it before, and I feel like it's kind of tiny, but that's okay. So we're going to get used to it, and we're going to figure out what works. Third September weekly. More scrapbooking paper, more frog. This one is just a relatively simple layout, just dividing the page into 4. And then our lily pads again. I did try to like alternate what colors I used for the frogs and the lily pads, just give it some extra interest for myself. And then once I finish the numbers, we're moving on to the 4th September weekly. This one is a 9x9 layout. So you have 9 boxes per page. Boxes get really, really small in this book. Then we're going to do some of the scrapbooking paper around the edges and in some of the frog boxes, just to try to get some more decoration down. Getting the paper into the frog boxes was a bit of a challenge, not gonna lie, but I made it work. And then I'm going to go in and color on my frogs with various greens that I had picked out for this theme. This page was really fun because I got to do a bunch of different frog poses. Give this one a little froggy toadstool hat, and this one has a floaty. And again, we're just going to go in and create our lily pads so that we can do our days of the week on those. Stamp our September header. Add our days, and then add our washi tape. And then our final September weekly is not so much a full weekly, it's mini weekly because I keep all of the days of my month together. So this is the last 3 days in September. Just trying to work out how to get this piece of scrapbooking paper up in this corner here without cutting off my frog. This layout is kind of a combo layout because I'm including my meals in this layout. Because I didn't have enough room for them in my meal spread. But we're going to do a really big frog up here. And pick our color for our lily pads. Do my stamps. Add a to-do column because as you can see there's not a whole lot of room on those daily boxes. Add some washi tape because the theme needs to theme. And that is the full setup for September in my new journal. I'm really looking forward to getting in here and using this journal. This is just for the last 4 months of this year, which is pretty exciting. So I just want to get in here and use these pages. I can't believe it's already September. Where did summer go? But at least I have some cute frogs to help ease me into the chillier weather that we have coming. I'm gonna miss wearing shorts. I'm gonna miss it being warm. And that's it for now.